Hi guys, Chuck here once again for thecheapbastard.net, and today we're going to deal with something that's on everybody's mind and in the media lately, and that's the rising cost of food prices. I'm going to show you in your kitchen today how you can get your jerk on with a little jerk rabbit. That's right, jerk rabbit, right here on thecheapbastard.net. Okay, we're back in the kitchen and ready to go. We have our rabbit. He's soaking in the sink right now, and we're getting him all the blood out of him right now. He's been all cleaned and skinned, and we're gonna get down to the marinade. To start things off, I'm just gonna use a couple white onions, small onions, whatever I have left in the fridge, and a half a bulb of garlic, and cut my onions up, kind of coarse, nothing too fancy, because this is all going in the marinade in the end. So what we're gonna do first is prepare all of our vegetables that are going into the marinade, and we're going to move on to the actual rabbit himself next, and then we're going to soak it for at least, I'd like to get in between 2 and 4 hours in there at a cool temperature, but not necessarily in the fridge. So try and find a cool place that's not exactly, overheated and warm, and we're going to let that marinate for a couple hours, and then we're going to move on to the next state of affairs. You can see here I've already cleaned out the rabbit, so you're gonna have, here's his kidneys. I'm gonna use his kidneys as well too while this is marinating, and here's all his lungs and his liver. You'll see all the pieces right there. It's really not that gruesome a job. A rabbit cleans out really quick, and you can probably do it in under 5 minutes if you're really focused and paying attention. We're gonna use the kidneys and some of the heart and lung stock here, and we're gonna make stock on the stove, and that's gonna be drizzled over our rabbit once it goes inside the oven. So we'll move on from here. Okay, this is sort of the grislier part of the operation that nobody wants to talk about, but it's really not that hard. Everybody likes to eat, but nobody wants to be the butcher. So we'll show you how it's done here real quick and easy. We get our very sharpened blade here. There's very little connective tissue connecting the back of the leg bones to the hip here. So we're just gonna exercise that with just a few short cuts. There we go. Apply a little pressure, and there we go. We'll get one more. Look at that. Look how easy that was. Do the next one. You might hear some crunching in there, just as long as it's not your own fingers that are getting the chop. There we go. And cut that free. And took off a little bit of hip bone in there. I'll try and exercise that right now so it doesn't cause anybody any problems later on. And there we go, 2. Next we'll do the front here. Okay, we're going to return back to where we started here with our coarse cut onions and garlic inside of our bowl. And I don't know if it's a man thing, but we tend to have duller senses when it comes to our olfactory, our smelling senses. And we don't perceive garlic and onion as being as strong as it really is. So I'm going gentle with this, considering how much rabbit we have to work with. So that'll go easy on the rest of the family, particularly the wife and the rest of the gang. We tend to not be able to smell our own feet sometimes. Okay, with that done, what I've got here is our jerk sauce. It's sort of a generic, off-the-shelf, sort of sweet and sour jerk sauce with a bit of a tang, sort of like almost a plum sauce meets a duck sauce. We're gonna drizzle some on the base here. Okay. Next, I'm gonna add. I'm doing this all by feel. I don't have a particular sense of how much. You'll feel it out. You'll know. We're gonna do just a handful of cloves. Okay. Throw some cloves in there. It smells so good. You don't want to go overboard on any one particular flavor. Again, I'm going to use what probably measures out to, if I had to measure it, maybe a teaspoon of thyme. Okay. There we go. Fresh thyme is always better, but again, sticking with the ethos here at thecheapbastard.net, we work with what we have. We deal with the hands that deal with the hand that God gave us. And I'm just going to throw a couple bay leaves in there, just along the way. There we go. Okay. Let's put our guy in for a dunk now. we go. All the pieces in here. Look at that. One rabbit's gonna feed the whole family tonight. Gave his life to a good cause today. Alright, now I'm gonna pour some more jerk sauce over the top of this. Let that get in there. Soak nicely. There we go. Move everything around. Make sure there's a good bath. And again, we're gonna let this sit 2-3 hours, 4 on the outside. Again, I don't want to overpower the rabbit. I like the natural rabbit taste. It's very neutral, almost like chicken, as they say. What doesn't taste like chicken? We're gonna let that get in there for a bit. Okay? And I'm gonna put a wrap on the top of it and put it in a cool place. Not necessarily a cold place, but a cool place for now. We'll come back to the next stage when we pop it in the oven. All right? Well, 3 hours later, it's had a pretty good soak by now in the marinade. We've taken it out, put it inside of a non-metal pan, glass cookware here, and we're gonna pop it in the oven. Now I'm gonna set it up for 375 for the first 15 minutes, and then bring the heat down to 300 and let it go for about another hour and 15 minutes at that point, and probably put tin foil over the top of it so it doesn't burn up. So let's get things underway. Alright guys, it's all done out of the oven and dinner is served. What we have here is I have a little rice, kidney beans, and some rabbit right on top there. All done, just in time for dinner. Look at that, dinner bell has rung. Very simple, very easy, very cheap. All right here, thecheapbastard.net. Now tell me you didn't learn something today, huh?